Happy Thursday, everybody. Today we're going to be continuing our Tale of Despereaux read aloud. We're going to read two chapters today, chapters 32 and 33. I hope that you are enjoying this book as much as I am. We are totally flying through it. Don't have that many pages left, so just excited to find out what happens next. So we're going to start on chapter 32. Beware of the rats. The candlelight on Meg's tray revealed Gregory limping towards her, the thick rope tied around his ankle, his hands outstretched. You, Gregory presumes, have brought food for the jailer. Gore, said Meg. She took a step backward. Give it here, said Gregory, and he took the tray from Meg and sat down on an overturned kettle that had rolled free from the tower. He balanced the tray on his knees and stared at the covered plate. Gregory assumes that today, again, there is no soup. Eh? Said Meg. Soup, shouted Gregory. Illegal, shouted Meg back. Most foolish, muttered Gregory as he lifted the cover off the plate. Too foolish to be born, a world without soup. He picked up a drumstick and put the whole of it in his mouth, and chewed and swallowed. Here, said Meg, staring hard at him. You forgot the bones. Not forgotten, chewed. Gore, said Meg, staring at Gregory with respect. You eats the bones? You are most ferocious. Gregory ate another piece of chicken, a wing, bones and all, and then again, and then another. Meg watched him admiringly. Someday, she said, moved suddenly to tell this man her deepest wish, I will be a princess. At this pronouncement, Chiaroscuro, who was still at Meg's side, did a small deliberate jig of joy. In the light of the one candle, his dancing shadow was large and fearsome indeed. Gregory sees you, Gregory said to the rat shadow. Roscuro ceased his dance. He moved to hide beneath Meg's skirts. Eh? Shouted Meg. What's that? Nothing, said Gregory. So you aim to be a princess. Well, everyone has a foolish dream. Gregory, for instance, dreams of a world where soup is legal. And that rat, Gregory is sure, has some foolish dream too. If only you knew, whispered Roscuro. What? Shouted Meg. Gregory said nothing more. Instead, he reached into his pocket and then held his napkin up to his face and sneezed into it. Once, twice, 3 times. Bless you, shouted Meg. Bless you, bless you. Back to the world of light, Gregory whispered, and then he balled the napkin up and placed it on the tray. Gregory is done, he said, and he held the tray out to Meg. Done, are you? Then that tray goes back upstairs. Cook says it must. You take the tray to the deep downs, you wait for the old man to eat, and then you bring the tray back. Them's my instructions. Did they instruct you, too, to beware of the rats? The what? The rats. What about 'em? Beware of them, shouted Gregory. Right, said Meg. Beware the rats. Roscuro, hidden beneath Meg's skirt, rubbed his front paws together. Warn her all you like, old man, he whispered. My hour has arrived. The time is now, and your rope must break. No nibbling this time. Rather a serious chew that will break it in two. Yes, it is all coming clear. Revenge is at hand. Chapter 33, The Rat Who Knows Her Name. Meg had climbed the dungeon stairs and was preparing to open the door to the kitchen when the rat spoke to her. May I detain you for a moment? Meg looked to her left, then looked to her right. Down here, said Roscuro. Meg looked to the floor. Gore, she said, but you're a rat, ain't you? And didn't the old man just warn me of such? Beware the rats, he said. She held the tray up higher so that the light from the candle shone directly on Roscuro, and the golden spoon on his head, and the blood-red cloak around his neck. There is no need to panic, none at all, said Roscuro. As he talked, he reached behind his back, and using the handle, he raised the soup spoon off his head, much in the manner of a man lifting his hat to a lady. Gore, said Meg, a rat with manners. Yes, said Roscuro. How do you do? My papa had him some cloth much like yours, Mr. Rat, said Meg. Red like that. He traded me for it. Ah, said Roscuro, and he smiled a large knowing smile. Did he really? That is a terrible story, a tragic story. Reader, if you will pardon me, we must pause for a moment to consider a great and unusual thing, a portentous thing. That great, unusual, portentous thing is this. Roscoe's voice was pitched perfectly to make its way through the tortuous path of Mig's broken-down cauliflower ears. That is to say, dear reader, Miggery So heard, perfect and true, every single word that Rat Roscoe uttered. "You have known your share of tragedy," said Roscoe to Mig. "Perhaps it is time for you to make the acquaintance of triumph and glory." "Triumph?" said Mig. "Glory?" "Allow me to introduce myself," said Roscoe. "I am Chiaroscuro. Friends call me Roscoe. And your name is Miggery So. And it is true, is it not, that most people call you simply Mig?" "Ain't that the thing?" shouted Mig. "A rat who knows my name?" "Miss Miggery, my dear, I do not want to appear too forward so early in our acquaintance, but may I inquire, am I right in ascertaining that you have aspirations?" There is a picture on this page. Sorry, it's hard to see. It looks like it's just them talking. "What do ye mean, aspirations?" shouted Mig. "Miss Miggery, there's no need to shout, none at all, as you can hear me, so I can hear you. We two are perfectly suited, each to each other." Roscoe smiled again, displaying a mouthful of sharp yellow teeth. "Aspirations, my dear, are those things that would make a serving girl wish to be a princess." "Gore," agreed Mig. "A princess is exactly what I want to be. There is, my dear, a way to make that happen. I believe that there is a way to make that dream come true." "You mean that I could be the Princess P?" "Yes, your highness," said Roscoe, and he swept the spoon off his head and bowed deeply at the waist. "Yes, your most royal Princess P." "Gore," said Mig. "May I tell you my plan? May I illustrate for you how we can make your dream of becoming a princess a reality?" "Yes," said Mig. "Yes." "It begins," said Roscoe, "with yours truly in the chewing of a rope." Mig held a tray with one small candle burning bright, and she listened as the rat went on, speaking directly to the wish in her heart. So passionately did Roscoe speak, and so intently did the serving girl listen, that neither noticed as the napkin on the tray moved, nor did they hear the small mouse-like noises of disbelief and outrage that issued the napkin Let me try that one again. Nor did they hear the small mouse-like noises of disbelief and outrage that issued from the napkin as Roscoe went on unfolding, step by step, his diabolical plan to bring the princess to darkness. And that is the end of the third book. So tomorrow we will pick up on book 4. And let's see, is that the last book? I want to say there's another one, but I can't remember. I guess we'll find out. Alrighty. Have a great day, everyone.